just a disclaimer for this video. I go into some detail about being able to kind of estimate your total caloric needs to maintain and then how to figure out how to lose and all that. I realize that it kind of happens a little bit later in the video. So I'm going to leave a note in the description about when that starts. That way, if you guys just want to go right to that, you can. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and get to the video now. I just wanted to put that out there for you guys. It is 8 a.m. Saturday morning, our first week after the beginning of the Cristelli Fit Challenge and our first weekend before the official start of the Jeff Nippard Transformation Challenge. And I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty good. There was a couple of hiccups in the week. Definitely cravings. It's gonna be something we're gonna have to watch out for the next 11 weeks. But yeah, it felt really good. I'm down 30 pounds, which I feel like at least half of that is probably some like whey's or water weight, stuff like some just residual stuff, and maybe 1.5 pounds is actual fat. Maybe 1.5 pounds. Probably more like 1 pound, but maybe 1.5 pounds. If it is 1.5 pounds, that seems super. Just doesn't seem like it's something that can be consistent with for all 100 days or all 11 weeks or whatever it is. So that is a little bit concerning, but at the same time, I feel like we can just make some adjustments here and there if we need to. But it's time for breakfast and some coffee, and I have to let my dog out. So let's go do those things.
After we let Mr. Boris outside to use his biz, we were able to chow down with our Saturday morning breakfast, which was some egg whites, some shredded mozzarella, and then a delicious Reese's cheesecake tasting meal replacement shake. And then after this, we were able to get to the gym to get our steps in. Because it is a Saturday, not a work day, we have to spend that much extra effort to get our minimum steps in.
I am craving everything. We're trying to get our steps in, at least 10,000. So to make the time pass easier, we're watching some shows. We have maybe another mile to go. So we just gotta finish strong. And then we get to go home and eat. And that'll be awesome. It is still mostly a frozen landscape out here, and we're about to get hit with another storm. But I had to get some things to have a pretty well-rounded, dinner. I almost said vegetable. I bought vegetables for a well-rounded dinner.
It is Sunday, January 12th. A little bit of a late start this morning. It's just now like 10:40 in the morning. I'm about to have my breakfast in. And it is the first week of the Jeff Nippard Challenge, and actually the first week down of the local Cristelli Fit Winter Challenge. And I gotta say, I've been pretty pleased with the results so far. Sorry, I had to get you guys set up there so I could eat and everything. But so we were our first weekend. We've weighed in our very first weigh-in Saturday last week. Saturday yesterday, I was 226 versus the 230 at the very beginning. And this morning I was touching 225 and change. If we round it up, it'd be like 225.9. I I don't think that I think I was talking about this a little bit before as well, but I don't think that that is sustainable for the entirety of the 14 weeks. Not 11, 14. And I don't want to lose a bunch of muscle mass either, right? I want to do things in a healthy way. We are going to figure out what my average maintenance would be based off of my numbers from this week alone. We're going to be going over exertion. We're going to be going over our intake for our calories. We're going to figure out if we need to make any tweaks or adjustments to our macros to have a bit more sustainability in our day for energy, for strength, for maintaining muscle, all these great things. And if you are here and you don't know how to do those things, we'll do those together. I'll take it step by step so it's really easy. And you will be facing it from a different direction now. So whenever you go to calculate what your expected total calorie intake would be to maintain your current body weight, not necessarily trying to lose or gain, just keeping what you got going on, would be the first, indication of where you need to go depending on your goals, right? You don't know where to go if you don't know where to start. So somewhere on the screen, you will see my screen recording of my phone, and you will see my computer screen that I have pulled up for everything else. So in order to determine where you need to go based off of what your goals are, you need to figure out where you're at to the best of your possible ability, right? Because nothing is going to be precise, but we can get a pretty good estimation of where we're at using variety of ways to gather information. And one of those is the Mifflin-St Jeor calculator. Now, this is consistently for years, decades, has been a good, considerably efficient way to determine an estimation to your basal metabolic rate. So that is the amount of calories or energy expended that your body does existing, right? And so this equation here, there's two different ones, one for men, one for women. The reason why there's two different calculations is that men typically have more muscle mass. So muscle is going to burn more calories even at a resting rate. It needs more energy to exist, and therefore the male's calculator is going to be slightly different than the women's. But know your body. There are plenty of women out there who are way more masculine or muscular, than I am, who have way more muscle mass than I do. And, and that might be more accurate for them. I don't know how it works. I'm doing this the best that I can. But I went ahead and took the time to figure up mine here. And so for me, my total expended estimation, just existing, is 1,978 calories, or kilocalories if you are in somewhere else that's not the US. So that information tells me that if I want to just maintain at this is a calculation at 226 pounds, by the way, not 230, which it was last week, 226 pounds. If I want to stay there, about 1978, 1980 is the estimation of calorie intake that I would need. And this is not prejudiced to maintaining muscle mass. This is maintaining weight, right? If I don't have enough protein and I have more carbs, but I'm still sitting at this calorie amount, I'm going to stay roughly the same weight. I will probably lose muscle, but I will probably maintain the general idea of my weight within maybe 2 to 4 pounds, right? Now, if we want to increase or decrease our weight, depending on goals, whether it's muscle increase, weight loss, or a combination of muscle gain and weight loss, we have to use this information, but not live and die by it. And what I mean by that is don't get so caught up on the 1978 or whatever your number might be that we completely forget all the other elements that go into what our goals are, right? Now, with this information, to get back on track, weight loss. To lose weight at roughly a pound a week, that is going to give us an estimation of 500 calories. And there is a equation for that. I don't remember the name of it. Okay, there you have it. So to lose 1 pound a week, you need to create a caloric deficit of approximately 500 calories per day. because 3,500 calories is the amount of energy needed to burn to lose 1 pound of belly fat. Do that over 7 days, divide that, 500 calorie deficit a day. There you go. There's no name for it. It's just the equation. So if I were wanting to lose a pound a week, I would need to either take this 1978 and lose 500 or burn 500 calories, eating that same amount of 1978, which would look like 1578 of total exercise. I'm typing this out. So either total exercise, 500 calories, or total reduction, 500 calories, or what is going to be better is finding a happy medium between how much I expend in exercise, roughly a day, on average for the week, and then filling in the rest with less calories, right? So let's say that I burn on average 355 calories. That's a 355 calories a day in exercise. Then I would need to do another 150 calories a day in less food, right? That makes sense, I think, for everybody. The past several days, past week anyways, I have been having an average of, I might have to just add it up. Okay. Pull our calculator out. That's why it's here. 1,700, see an extra, what is that? 60 some odd calories or something? Almost 100 calories? Over 100 calories more? Jeez, numbers. I'm not great with them. So this tells us that in the past 7 days, we've been consuming roughly 1,726 calories. We're going to go up to 1,727 since there was a little bit of digits past the 6. We're just going to have nice round numbers here, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. It is all an estimation anyhow. That's the past 7 days on average. Some days may have been higher, some days were a little lower. That was the rough estimate. Now we need to figure out our rough estimation of expenditure, right? And so I'm not sure if I am smart enough here. It gives me an estimation on the phone, on the app, of an average calculation of 1,859 calories expended a day. I'll just pull up my weight trend right quick. So at the beginning of last week, even if going back a month ago, you can see I kind of lingered right there between 230 and 235 pounds for a really long while. And then as of this past week is when we really started to see this trajectory start having a downfall. That bright purple line there is my trending weight, and which is, that's kind of what we want to see, because as you could tell, the weight every day will change. It'll fluctuate. Sometimes you'll have a little bit of bloat. Sometimes you'll have a little bit more water. Sometimes you might have a soda or a little extra sugar, or maybe you're lactose intolerant, so you kind of bloat a little bit if you have a little bit of cheese, stuff like that. But the trend is where you want to see things start to fall off, go down, etc. And so as we can see here, my trending is starting to fall over the past 7 days, even though the quote-unquote true weight, scale weight, whatever, is much lower than the trend. That's fine. I want to see everything going down for general weight loss. Things that we can do to determine if we are also losing a large amount of muscle. So this does have a system in there where it does send a electronic signal through your body, kind of help read some other things that you have going on. You have skeletal muscle mass, water percentage, protein, like all this is very estimation that could be way off base, right? Like it says that my BMR, which is my basal metabolic rate, is about 2,000 calories. And up here we determined that it was closer to 1,978 with the calculations. So it is, again, within the ballpark, but it's not concise. or as concise as other methods could be. And then at the very bottom, it says fat-free mass, which says it refers to the total body composition that's not fat, with skin, muscle, bones, and internal organs being the main component. 172.2. Now, a few days ago, that was 173 point something. 173.6, I think. That, we don't want to lose muscle mass, right? But this is not necessarily the best way. A good way to determine if we're losing muscle mass is by going to the gym, seeing if our lifts are staying the same, seeing if we're getting stronger, doing measuring, which I'll be doing next week instead of this week. But those are going to be great ways to determine if you're going towards the goals that you want to go toward, right? So if you're seeing yourself losing weight and your goal is to recomp, which is just losing weight and gaining muscle mass or maintaining strength while you do so, you want to really make sure you're paying attention to that data, those numbers. You want to make sure that you're checking in on those things, because if you are losing strength pretty rapidly, maybe go up a little bit on your calories with your protein and maybe even your carbohydrates. You know, you want to continue to feed the muscles so that way they continue to grow, not eating themselves away, because, you know, that kind of ruins that, you know, those gains you made, right? Now, if you are strictly doing it for weight loss purposes, you're not really trying to maintain strength or gain muscle mass, you know, more power to you. I would just say make sure that you are having a good amount of protein in your diet. You don't want to cut it out completely. So that way you are able to feed your body properly, because in my opinion, I believe that the body will always do better no matter what you're doing to it, whether you're losing weight or trying to gain muscle. Your body will always do better as long as you are able to feed everything in your body. You know, you don't want to have things fighting over certain nutrients or macros or anything like that, and the muscles are a big part of that. Where was I going? Oh yeah. So that's kind of how you're able to calculate that. But if you need to do that for yourself, this is the formula. And just remember, you do this part, then you do this part, then you do this, and then you add those numbers together, or subtract them. Combine those numbers. Don't do 10 times weight plus 6.25. Don't do that as one long string. You're going to get some astronomical number that's going to be incorrect. Okay, well, I think I've blundered my way through this enough. It is almost noon, and we still need to go get our steps in. So we're going to go to the gym. We're going to go walk for 2 hours almost, and I'll continue to hate ourselves, because walking is one of the worst. Can't say that because it's not really true. I hate walking. I hate walking on the treadmill because I get so bored, and then I'm like, my mind starts to wander and it's completely unfocused. And then I have to be like, do winners just stop 30 minutes short? No, they don't. You stay on that treadmill. Would Jeff Nippard get off that treadmill early? No. Would Chris Bumstead get off that treadmill early? Hell no. Stay on it. And then it gives me inspiration for about 5 minutes, and then I'm like, I want some ice cream. This has not been easy. Okay, I'm done ranting. I'm done.